Jack Tuffers here. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Good man, good man. Must be so frustrating, you know. I mean, you're a big part of this England side, and then, as you say, to get that, how do you deal with that mentally? You know what I mean? It's all good being around the guys and what have
Yeah,
you, but yeah, how do you sort of like put that in a box and move forward? Because I mean, it's quite a serious injury, isn't it? A stress fracture.
yeah. No, it is. I think um, mentally, I think to be honest, Stokesy and Baz have helped me um, with the mental side of the game, and I guess that's helped me off the pitch as well in life as well. You know, you've got to take the rough with the smooth, and I think it's been about not getting too up and too down with anything that comes your way in cricket. But that's the same, I guess, in life, and it would be wrong to kind of have that mindset um, on the pitch, but then as soon as something goes wrong off it, you kind of don't have that same sort of outlook. So I think he's the whole mindset of how we're looking to play our cricket, take the positive option, you know, all these kind of things. I've definitely used them in my life as well. So you know, I thank them for that, and I think I'm surprised how well I've kind of maybe am dealing with it. There's low days for sure, like when I feel like oh, I'd love to be out there now, or you know, but you kind of um, there's no point in kind of dwelling on that. It's kind of like looking forward, I guess, to what's next.
Just hold on. So do you sort of take this Bazball mentality into your day life? Sort of going to IKEA on a Sunday and sort of out there smashing it around in the aisle.
Yeah, I do. I do, to be honest. Like, I know Baz hates Bazball, but like for me, like it's really like the mentality has really helped me just in general life, for sure. Like, um, and the way we've chatted as a group, you know, there's so many, you know, and we you know played golf together, and you know, there's examples of it in golf, and um, no, definitely, I think it is it has helped me for sure, and that's why I've been I guess such an advocate of it, and feel like it's a real powerful thing that people can use to help them in any walk of life, I guess.
Yeah.
Can you give us some insight into how Brendon and Ben have achieved that? Because it's all very well saying be positive, but it's quite hard to
Yeah,
actually implement that. How have they done that?
it's a great question, I think, and it's one that I find hard to explain to people. I think you know, sports about how you feel, I think, and you know, a lot of the things that happen is like it's about you get a feeling, and it's the way they make you feel rather than necessarily um, the words that they use. You know, I think there's something very powerful about people saying things and then actually backing it up with their actions, and then you start to really believe it. And that's definitely been the case with those two. Um, I think that makes it an authentic thing. Um, and yeah, I think um, just the care that they've shown for every individual in that group um, has been amazing. And yeah, in terms of how they've done it, I think they've been pretty consistent with their team selections. You know, it feels like quite a close knit group now, and you know, maybe when you guys are calling for someone to be dropped, or you know, they've actually stood firm with certain decisions, and I think that really grows like the confidence in the group. Because again, like it's very easy for a coach to say, "Oh, I'm going to do what I want to do, but I'm not going to listen to the outside." But then when that's backed up with the actions, I think guys start to really feel something special. So yeah, that's definitely one way.
Jack Vaughany here. I know this
Hi,
is a
mate.
podcast and most people are listening, but in respect and honour of you, me, Phil, and Ben have won our glasses. Now,
And
we're
I
slightly
haven't.
disappointed that you haven't. Where are they?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a good point because I think I don't know where my cricket kit is at the moment, but my glasses are in my cricket kit, and I don't know where they are because after the Ireland game, they were going to Edgbaston, and obviously I didn't turn up at Edgbaston, so they're somewhere in the country, but I'm not
What
sure
your
where.
So you don't know where your cricket kit is?
Not at the moment, no, because I don't need it. Um,
Oh, that's
so yeah,
brilliant.
at some point I'll need to find that.
Now let's talk day four, Headingley.
Cool.
Obviously, you were right in the action in 19. The greatest, probably most famous one not out in the history of Test
Cool.
cricket. Where were you day four this time?
I was sat at home watching on my sofa, and I was actually listening and watching. I really enjoy, and this sounds a bit like I'm sucking up, but I do enjoy the TMS commentary,
Good man.
especially. I just find it a little bit more soothing. I can kind of go in and out, whereas if I get too much on the TV, I kind of get engrossed, and my missus can get quite annoyed with me because I literally don't know anyone's there in the room. So yeah, I think listening to you guys just keeps me on a nice even place where I'm not too in it. So yeah, so I was just watching at home, and yeah, it was great to watch.
When was it? So I was on comms when Johnny got out. Up until Johnny got out, I was telling everyone, "Don't worry, this is done. This is over." When Johnny
Yeah,
got out, I was like, "Oh shit!"
I think I was similar. I felt I was so confident about the chase. As to be honest, again, like all the games so far, I've been confident. Um, heading into that final stages of the game that we would get it done, and obviously the first couple we didn't manage to do it, and yeah, I think. But again, I think that's a reflection of where the confidence that we've got in the side, because I think previously, if we were chasing 250, we probably wouldn't have much confidence from the start. So actually, to have that confidence, for such a long period, and then obviously, yeah, Johnny gets out, but then I said to my mate, I was like, Wokesy's gonna get it done, Mr. Cool, like, and yeah, obviously Wokesy, and then to have Woody coming in
Oh,
after he'd done what he'd done first innings. I was listening on the
amazing.
radio when after lunch, and I was thinking, oh God, we're not in a great position here. And Woody came out and did that, and I was like, oh, he's just changed the momentum like that. And then Stokesy did his thing, and it's just brilliant.
Do you know, Jack? It's interesting that this England side. I mean, it's 5 times now in the last year that you've chased over 250 in the last innings of a game to win. As a
Mm-hmm.
spinner, and I'll ask both you and Phil. Generally, as a spinner, you want to be bowling last. But this England kind of side, they've become a one-day kind of style chasing test team. How does
Yeah.
that affect you as a spinner when you kind of arrive thinking, well, we're probably going to have to bowl because we prefer to chase in that last inning? Does that affect you at all as a spin bowler?
Um, yeah, well, I think one thing I felt like they needed to get Murphy into the innings sooner than maybe what they did, like in that sort of chase, because if they got it under, like if we got it under 100, and then Murphy comes on and goes for, a couple of big overs, then it's, and so I think it actually made it hard to bowl the spin. I remember last year when we were chasing at Headingley with Bracewell, and it was like a dry pitch, but we like played him really, really well and almost didn't allow him to bowl. And I think, yeah, it's just people are playing differently now, I guess, and so maybe the way you're going to take wickets is slightly different. It's not going to be a caught bat pad or um, you know these kind of like little ones around the bat. It might be caught long off or long on. If Stokesy lets me have a long off or a long on. But no, I think I was chatting to Mo about it, and then we both sort of agreed, like, actually, sometimes having that more attacking field can make you bring more out of you in terms of the ball that you bowl, in terms of the energy you have to get on it, because you're trying to beat guys to hit your fielders. And actually, if you're mid offs out and you're mid on and mid off are out, and you've got lots of sweepers, you can sometimes bowl a little bit defensively to that. So this whole mindset of taking wickets has been like really, really good for me. And it just changes how you kind of look at the game, and you're not playing with like trying to not go for runs, which again is just maybe not a negative mindset. Not to say that you don't want to bowl tight. I think there's a lot of kind of opposite ends. I can't think of the word, but almost like sometimes the more you try to win, the further you get away from it. Like the more you try not to go for runs, the more runs you go for. It's like actually trying to flip things the other way, and trusting that your skills will come out in having that more kind of free mindset, I think.
Yeah, you've obviously got a great relationship with Stokesy. I mean, you can see it on the field, Jack. And he's brought this sort of mindset out of you. He's some cricketer, isn't he? And some captain.
Yeah, he's. I just really look up to him. I think just to see, some of the things he's done in this series. It's hard to, again, it's one of those things. It's hard to explain. It's just the way he makes you feel like, and he does make you feel like you want to run through a brick wall for him, because you know that he would do that for you, and that like feels weird that Ben Stokes would run through a brick wall for Jack Leach. Like, what? I don't get it, but he would, and that is like it. Again, it's like he's not just saying things; he does them and he lives them.
Yeah, I mean, me and Phil have a bit of a chuckle about this kind of huge positivity that comes out the England dressing room. Everything is, we're going to win 3-2. We can chase this. We will do this. Whereas back in our day, you wouldn't dare. you wouldn't dare publicly state that you were going to come back from 2-0 down. You just kind of hope that it happens and quietly try and get about your business. Yeah. What is it that happens in this team room or in this dressing room that gets you up? Because Brodie and Jimmy have been around the block, and I'm not saying they're grumpy to old fast bowlers, but they are two grumpy to old fast bowlers. And their mindset and their positivity, and everyone that I speak to around the camp are so positive. How have they kind of got you all in this room and got you all speaking in this this positive sense all the time?
And so quickly as well.
Yeah.
Did they give you tablets?
No, but I think you know what, we talk a lot, like before play, after play. There's a lot of like us kind of talking as a group, and they're always pushing us in that direction, I guess. And like, don't get me wrong, in the last year, I've had times where I've walked off the field and gone, "That's a bad day." Like, Baz can't be positive about that. And so, like, what are they going to say? And then I walk out at the end of the day and I walk back to the hotel and I'm like, it's fine. We just get 2 wickets in the morning and we're fine. Like, and it is an amazing thing I've never like experienced before. And I that's all I can really say on it. I mean, because don't get me wrong, like some of the, I would have used to probably think, that's arrogant, like to say those kind of things. Like you need to like, I think it's quite an English thing, is we need to like be quite modest and, and I think that's maybe where I've seen a change in, I think back to when we went to Australia and lost 4-0 and we weren't in any of them games at all. we should have lost 5-0 if it wasn't for the rain. So, and we were very modest and but we basically didn't believe in ourselves. And I think that's where you realise that actually, like, it's about believing in yourself, and sometimes you need to talk that up a little bit more, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be taking your eye off the ball, or and I'm sure it's frustrating for you guys at times. Is like you see certain things and think, oh, these guys are not focused enough, or but I think I think we are, and I think actually, like, sometimes the alternative of what it would be like is actually a more negative in your shell one, where and you can't half do something, you've got to fully commit, I think. And I think as we go through this journey, hopefully we'll get smarter and smarter with this positivity, because you look at Stokesy, and actually when he goes in at 400 for 5, he usually hits one straight up. Whereas when he goes in at 100 for 5, he will take his time, do what he needs to do, and then go at the right time. So again, very smart with what he's doing. And I think he is the greatest example for all of us to try and look up to, is actually, what does this situation require of me? Yeah. And if we are going well, actually, I'm going to push this game on. I'm not going to spend time just the game going nowhere. I'm going to push it on. But now this is a time for me to just soak it in a little bit and then go. But it's always doing everything within the game in a positive way. So even if you need to soak up a bit of pressure, do that in a positive way. And then so it's playing the game, like, and being completely in the moment and working out what the game requires of you. And I think Stokesy is the best example of that for all of us.